Hey everyone, welcome back. We're continuing our reading of my Quran Annotation review from the first time I read it. By the way, don't think because I'm not making videos on the Quran as frequent that I'm not listening to the Quran. No, I listen to the Quran every day. Every day. So, from the Meaning of Islam channel, the one with the purple icon, every day. Okay, before we get started, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We were in Ankabut, Surah 29, picking up on verse Ayat 35, where I annotated, "And we have left thereof an evident sign for any people who care to understand." And then 38, "Remember also the Ad and Thamud people clearly will appear to you from the traces of their buildings their fate. The evil one made their deeds alluring to them and kept them back from the path, though they were gifted with intelligence and skill." So here it points out to us that you can have intelligence and skill and still be deluded. Be made aware of that. 39. "Remember also Karun, Pharaoh, and Haman. There came to them Moses with clear signs, but they behaved with insolence on the earth, yet they could not overreach us." 40. "Allah who injured or oppressed them, they injured and oppressed their own souls." The parable of those who take protectors other than Allah is that of a spider, who builds to itself a house, but truly the flimsiest of houses is the spider's house, if they but knew. Sticky, and you get eaten, but it's not that good for the spider or those who get captured. "Recite what is sent of the book by inspiration to thee, and establish regular prayer, for prayer restrains from shameful and unjust deeds, and remembrance of Allah is the greatest thing in life, without doubt, and Allah knows the deeds that ye do." Yes, we have definitely learned that. Keep praying, you keep the consciousness of Allah, and understand that you are going to be held accountable. 53. "They asked thee to hasten on the punishment for them. Had it not been for a term of respite appointed, the punishment would certainly have come to them, and it will certainly reach them of a sudden while they perceive not." Again, this one is another example of you think you can prepare, but how do you prepare against God? You just can't. Something can happen to you where you won't even know where it's coming from. 55. "On the day that the punishment shall cover them, from above them and from below them, and a voice shall say, Taste ye the fruits of your deeds." It's powerful. 57. "Every soul shall have a taste of death. In the end to us shall ye be brought back." 62. "Allah enlarges the sustenance which He gives to whichever of His servants He pleases, and He similarly grants by strict measure as He pleases. For Allah has full knowledge of all things." 64. "What is the life of this world but amusement and play? But verily the home in the hereafter, that is life indeed, if they but knew." Now we're in Rome, the Roman Empire, number 30. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. 5. "With the help of Allah, He helps whom He will, and He is exalted in might, most merciful." 8. "Do they not reflect in their own minds? Not but for just ends, and for a term appointed, did Allah create the heavens and the earth, and between them, yet are there truly many among men who deny the meeting with their Lord at the day of resurrection. Do they not travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before them? They were superior to them in strength. They tilled the soil and populated it in greater numbers than these have done. There came to them their apostles with clear signs, which they rejected, to their own destruction. It was not Allah who wronged them, but they wronged their own souls." Again, the accountability measure right here. That is one of my favorite themes, as I've mentioned before, is the traveling through the earth and seeing the ruins. And realizing the cycle of decay and knowing that no matter how high your building is, the weather, the elements, and the maker can bring them down. 11. It is Allah who begins the process of creation, then repeats it. Then shall ye be brought back to Him. On the day that the hour will be established, the guilty will be struck dumb with despair. No intercessor will they have among their partners, and they will themselves reject their partners. On the day that the hour will be established, that day all men be sought out. Then those who have believed and worked righteous deeds shall be made happy in a maid of delight. So struck dumb with despair. When you see, a lot of people have arrogance who think you can keep your cool under all circumstances, but clearly that's not going to be the case. 19. It is He who brings out the living from the dead, and brings out the dead from the living, and who gives life to the earth after it is dead, and thus shall ye be brought out from the dead. 21. And among His signs is this, that He created for you mates from among yourselves, that ye may dwell in tranquility with them. And He has put love and mercy between your hearts. Verily, in that are signs for those who reflect. So here it's like relationships. Your relationship needs to be tranquil. Not loud, sassy, catty, diva-ish, just loudmouth blabbing, just all up in your face, vulgar, materialistic. No. Not someone who's supposed to put tension in you and irritate you, but to calm you by their sheer presence and other factors. 22. And among His signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the variations in your languages and your colors. Verily, in that are signs for those who know. And among His signs is the sleep that ye take by night and by day, and the quest that ye make for livelihood out of His bounty. Verily, in that are signs for those who hearken. So when you go to bed and you wake up in the morning, that in itself being a sign. And the fact that we have to go out into the world that Allah established for us to get our sustenance. And we get angry and arrogant because we have DoorDash and food delivery and things can be so easy, but in the end you're dependent upon a grid, and not even a grid that you built, and not even a grid that the people who originally built. It all goes back to the maker in the end. So are you really free? 28. He does propound to you a similitude from your own experience. Do ye have partners among those who your right hands possess, to share as equals in the wealth we have bestowed on you? Do ye fear them as ye fear each other? Thus do we explain the signs in detail to a people that understand. 29. Nay, the wrongdoers merely follow their own lusts, being devoid of knowledge. But who will guide those whom Allah leaves astray? To them there will be no helpers. Devoid of knowledge, just following your own lusts, your whims. In the tafsir, it's really helped us make that clear that it happens. It really does happen. 33. When trouble touches men, they cry to their Lord, turning back to Him in repentance. But when He gives them a taste of mercy, as from Himself, behold, some of them pay part worship to other gods besides their Lord. This is interesting also because I started to think that everyone's an atheist until they get tortured a bit. Until you get to a certain level. And some say because they struggled in their life that they led them to atheism. But I think if you have nice clothes, you have money in your bank account, you got a fancy job, you're addicted to drugs, you're addicted to pornography, you're in an open relationship, you're on medications, all the things that you have lined up, you can feel confident in all those little things you have, right? But I think if you're alone somewhere under extreme distress, I think an atheist is going to flip. I think you're going to flip. I just think you haven't been tested hard enough. I wonder. And at a certain point of testing, the brain starts to snap and it starts to seek some help. And it doesn't start asking for Sam Harris or Christopher Hitchens to come out of the woodwork and save you. People, please. Even cartoons like Rick and Morty point that out. Regardless of how fun they seem, even Rick begs out to the Maker and then flips back once he is able to establish his weapon in his hand and shoot aliens, but even the satire cartoons make a hint at that. So that's something to think about.